So, as you guys know, yesterday I was I was getting off the highway and my car just stopped, and the towing company was about to come. I called so that because they were already on the road and we had to update the my location because I told them the address of a building that was close, but it wasn't, but it was off the highway. So, yeah, I eventually called again and asked them how long it would take. Then they said 5 to 6 minutes. Then I called a third time and told them it's been over 6 minutes. And because it's like, to spend Sunday night waiting on the side of the road is not the most fun activity. So, and right when I called them, she said it should be a big red truck. And that's when I saw the truck at that time. And they tried to restart the battery and it wasn't working. So we towed it all the way to Advanced Auto Parts on Sunday night. And yeah, I took an Uber back home. Then I I got on my bike and I cycled all the way to Advanced Auto Parts. It was like a 15-minute bike ride. And then they told me that in order to change the battery, they would have to do like 2 million things. Like they would have to move the tire, take the tire off so they can get underneath the car and go to the battery. This is a problem I only dealt with once before, maybe twice. So, and they told me that they couldn't do it. So I had to, and I got it towed through Geico so I didn't have to pay. I was covered for 20 miles, but it was 22 miles. And the guy said he could knock that off because it was only $4 per mile that I would be paying out of pocket. So this next day, today, I had to pay $180 to have it towed over to Bell Tire. And then I called them to make sure that they got it. I had to take my bike home because I had something in the oven. And then I got a call from the guy that was supposed to be towing it to Bell Tire today. And then he asked me where the keys were, and I just left it in the ignition. And then he took it there. Then I called the car place, they had it. And then a few hours passed by. Yeah, a few hours passed by, and then so what's it called? I called Bell Tire at 1:57 and 1:58. And then just now at no. My last call with them was 3:33 p.m. and they just called me at 6:21 p.m. and it's 6:50 right now. And it was a 6-minute call, and the main guy who sees me there all the time, he called me and said, I have some bad news. And I'm like, okay, I've heard it before. And then he told me something I've never dealt with in the 3 or so years I've had this car, almost 3 years. And he told me that it was the motor that was locked up. So, and he told me that it might cost like over, and I said, I'm already assuming it'll be expensive. So he told me that it'll cost like a lot of money. Let me jump back. Earlier today, I went to Advanced Auto Parts, bought the battery, then went outside into my car. And then after I bought it, the guy told me he won't be able to do it. And then Bell Tire told me that they use their own parts, so they can't install someone else's battery. So I had to return that battery a few seconds later. And then that was before I got it towed there. And now that they had my car, he called me and he says he has some bad news. And first thing I said was like, I know it's going to be expensive. And he tells me that the motor is locked up, so it wasn't the battery at all. Right? I can't pump the brake. Last night I could not pump the brakes. I couldn't turn the wheel. I was getting just off the highway when that happened. And I don't even know how often this happens to other people. But he said it's going to cost like over $4,000, and he said even like he looked up a used one, and it'll cost like $2,500 or so. Now I have like a little bit over 1,000 in my bank account right now, and I'm getting paid. I'll be like maybe a little over 2,000, but not 2,500. So I can call. I told him I could probably. I have a Chrysler 200. It's a 2013 Chrysler 200, and I said there's a Chrysler place nearby. They can probably give me a spare, and what's it called? And I also like I thought about calling Geico, right, to see what they can do, if they can help with that payment, since the car itself will not start. So yeah. And when I was at Advanced Auto Parts, I was driving back here, and I wasn't thinking about the worst case scenario, but I did sort of have a negative mindset, like the fact that this is happening. And earlier today I did kind of think about like not being alive. So I just have to be honest. That is something that I thought about. And I don't know if yeah, I mean there's times where I think about like there's other people who have harder times, so it's a feeling and it goes away when I understand that it's not the worst thing ever. But there's there's times where I do. There was a time today where I was riding home on my bike, and essentially what happened is I thought about like not living anymore, because it's like most of the time I would get paid, and then like if I was in a pickle it would be solved. But like I don't think I've ever dealt with this, and I've had this car since like summer of 2020. So like June or so. So it's like and I'm just like reminding myself that it'll be over with. But like I'm not someone who typically worries, but it is a pretty new problem. So um I don't know if Chrysler can fix it. I don't know if my insurance will be able to pay for that. And I was planning to move to a new place like next week, but that can only work if I can get around those big payments, because I have some move-in fees that are going to cost like 1,400, and I would have had just enough money to pay for that, because I have to pay for it not this Friday but before next Friday. So, and I don't want to keep living here, because like you just heard somebody upstairs walking, like you hear that all the time. And this new place is going to have like an attic. It's going to have one story everywhere, so I don't have to hear that. And it's like a bunch of other better stuff. So I didn't. This is like something that I just found out less than an hour ago, about the fact that the motor is locked. So yeah, I did. That is something I did think about. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is like really bad. Like it can sometimes blow out of proportion when you have something you weren't expecting. Because I could renew my lease here, but I don't want to. So I guess I'll just talk about like, I might take like a separate video to just talk about what I find wrong about like finances as a whole. And it's like just stuff that I don't really like that much. I might talk about that in a future video. But yeah, I hope you guys, have a, see, you can hear them. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I hope you guys are, are doing well. I guess being sad isn't gonna fix anything. And I do have to pay my rent anyway for this place, because I have to pay for May 1st and June 1st. So I still have to pay like over 700 on May 1st, right? And this car I still pay like 300 something every month just to have the car. That's not including insurance. That's just when I got it from the dealership. So, and like when I was riding on my way back, I was thinking about like calling the place and asking them if I can like give this car away already, because it was like for multiple years I was supposed to pay this, like for over 2 years I was paying like hundreds of dollars, like a little over $386 a month since 2020. So I'm at a stage where I kind of don't know what's going to happen next. I kind of don't know how I'm going to deal with the stuff that's been like thrusted upon me. So it's sort of like a last ditch effort, like a Hail Mary attempt. I don't really care if you guys want to or if you don't, right? By no means do I expect anybody to do this. I don't even borrow money from people. I don't like borrowing, but I might as well, like, cause I absolutely have nothing else. I'll just like put a link at the bottom where people can like send something if they want to. If you have enough money and you choose not to, that's perfectly fine. But it'll be there. For whatever 5 people watch this, thank you for at least watching. I don't even know if I'm gonna. I might end up homeless. I don't know. But I'm not going to think about the worst case, because it's not going to help me. Like, life's not going to get better as soon as I start worrying. But there are some real things that I haven't dealt with, and I don't realistically know how I'm immediately going to like deal with that. But at least my hair looks shiny. Yeah, I don't really think about giving up, because at that point you just kill everything, every chance you have of like making it through. But yeah, after a long time I did think about some unfavorable thoughts earlier today. So and this call sort of just like was sort of just something much worse that I didn't even expect. But I'll at least try and make sure that I end the day feeling good somehow. And I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.